Okay, now, and I'm not even sure I can get through here. Yeah, I can. I came through the little corroded dark room, and I'm in what he's calling the cold room. Could turn it into a meat locker, I guess. Anyway, he's got this pretty well tarped off for the time being because he's losing too much heat back over on this side. My suggestion back here, and he did kind of cover up that door, and it feels a little warmer in here to me than it did before. But we may need to increase the insulation both on the lid as well as the walls back here, and or replace that door with an insulated door, because that metal thing in there now is not insulated. We've got the ink tank, of course. It's an issue, but that Dave Conger with the solar engineer, he's thinking he could use that to store hot water if we did some solar panels up on the roof, which, if you're willing to make the investment, I think would probably be a great deal. It sounds like Coach is working on some issues or some potential ways to get rid of the ink in there. He had another paper that approached him about doing some advertising, and they kind of discussed it and talked about maybe that guy sampling the ink to see if they could use it. But anyway, his thought for this back area is to go ahead and integrate it to the gym once it's warm enough, and utilize it for like fitness conditioning and training with like the bikes and the different training equipment. And then he's got a subtenant that was going to do some boxing training. They're not going to actually do live boxing. They'd just be punching bags and doing aerobic kind of things. And he's interested in this space. That little wooden thing there, that can just come out. I don't know what they were doing with that, but I would eliminate that entirely and utilize the wood scrap for framing up other pieces. To whatever extent it's feasible to reuse plumbing and things like that, where it's not just costing you more in labor, he's more than willing to do that. The biggest limiting factor of this space as far as his usefulness is probably the fact that it's got such a low ceiling. So like he can't really put his bars in here real well with these different beams and things coming across. There could be some future value for some user of this little overhead crane system that they've got here. So I don't know that that's really hurting anything, other than if we need to re-insulate the walls and stuff, we'd have to kind of work around that if we leave it in place. Otherwise, we could pull it out. And, again, I don't, to a large extent, I don't see much advantage in pulling it out. It's not really hurting anything. He has a temporary step set up here, and, that pipe I showed you in the other room, that's probably the back of it right there. And there was, there's some plumbing in this wall. But the key point I'm making is we've got this big drop off concrete step down here.